We're talking about two different issues here. We're talking about corporal punishment for children, right? Hitting your children and hitting your spouse. I think that, again, as a Muslim, but especially as a psychologist, in addition to that, I study a lot and I teach a lot around punishment and the importance of punishment, the effectiveness of punishment. And I think in this case, Islam gets it right. The Muslims get it wrong. And what I mean by that is that in our religion, we don't have any examples for the permissibility of beating or hitting your spouse, abusing your spouse, and we don't have any examples for excessively beating your children or anything like that. And the example of this, of course, comes from the observation of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where it says that even there was a young boy who was around him from the age of 10 years old, and he says the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam never said oof. He never even raised his voice or complained to me or said a harsh thing to me. He never hit his children. And I think that those are good examples of the importance of how we can go about disciplining our children, teaching our children, helping them become mature, responsible, effective adults, while at the same time understanding the limits of how we can go about punishing them or disciplining them and things like that. Now, in terms of our wives, and the other way around, our husbands, because we have to understand that domestic violence does work both ways. And we have the example of Job, right? Ayub, as we call him in Islam, alayhi salam. He was the prophet who was afflicted for 19 years. With sickness, with loss of his wealth, with loss of his children, and his wife took care of him every day of those 19 years, so much to the extent that she was a very wealthy woman who had to go to work in the houses of other people as a maid. So much to the extent that she would carry him around the house and bathe him and feed him and all of these things. And there was a time where Job became very angry with her, and he said to her, you know, I swear by Allah, I swear to God, that when I get well, I'm going to give you 100 lashes. And he was so angry when he said this. For whatever the reason was, he was upset with her. And that when he became well, Allah reminded him that he had taken this oath that you had sworn to God, that you would give her 100 lashes. And Job says, but she took care of me 19 years while I was sick every day, and she's done so much for me. And I said that when I was angry, and, you know, I couldn't imagine doing something like that. And he says, he says to Job, alayhi salam, so go out and get a handful of grass, right? And to brush against her skin 100 times with the grass, and don't break your oath. Meaning this will be your way of not breaking your oath, but then also valuing and giving its true merit the amount of sacrifice and dedication and service your wife has given to take care of you. And in that sense, we know from the Islamic tradition that this is the statement of one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, that this is our example of how we should treat our spouses, our wives in particular, that we should never really raise our hands to hurt or hit our spouses, that this is, if we ever do hit our spouses, that this is the softest and this is the hardest that we can ever hit them, meaning we should never do it. Right? We have similarly in the Islamic tradition the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says that you can't hit a person in the face. He says because, for two reasons. He says because Allah created Adam in his own image, alayhi salam. And he says again that the face is the seat of honor and dignity and respect. And for those reasons, you can't do that to a person. And I think that sticking to the true tenets of our faith, of our Islamic tradition, would lead us to find the most productive ways of working out, disciplining our children, of working out difficulties in our relationships that can contribute to, or believing that it's okay to be hitting on or beating on our spouses. It means in that sense that we're not truly practicing the religion. We're not truly worshiping God in that sense in the way that we're supposed to be, because he sent us several very concrete and real examples of what it means to be a husband and a wife, and to treat each other with dignity and honor and respect.